Hello and welcome to this life-changing presentation all about the chakras. I chakrify everything. I learned long ago that learning about the chakras and applying this learning to real life every day will literally change your life. It will make all of the difference. My name is Sylvia Mordini, and I'm the founder of Life Inspired and Alchemy of Yoga. Teaching the chakras is both a pleasure, a joy, and something that just absolutely charges me up. So I've been teaching about the chakras for over 20 years, and I am so excited that you're here in this course to receive these downloads, transmissions, and the practical implications of how the chakras can up-level your life in all ways, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So let's dive in, shall we? I'm right now going to share my screen, and that will make it easy for you to follow along. So with the chakra presentation, I would love for you to right now find a way to get grounded and simply feel into this moment. Allow yourself to be here fully, right here and now. And to help us do that, bring your hands over your heart center. This is the fourth chakra. Close your eyes, drop into the moment. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth with a little sigh. Make some noise. Inhale. Last one. Inhale. Open mouth, exhale. And just notice how you're feeling. If those 4 deep breaths with hands on your energetic center, the fourth chakra, have already shifted your mood, if they've brought your mind back into your body, if you feel more embodied, more present, more grounded, more balanced, more centered, even maybe more at ease. As you open your eyes, everything that I'm going to share is experiential. Don't ever believe me just for the sake of believing me. Instead, you have to apply these things and experience them and feel them in your own life, in your best way. What I'm offering is suggestions as well as then an understanding of what each of the chakras has involved with it, as well as then an overall encompassing introduction to the chakras. So we shall begin there. A couple things. You'll see me up in the right hand corner, and sometimes I'll minimize, I'll show you, or you can't see me at all. And I'll go back and forth just so we feel connected. But noticing how you're feeling from that shift of the 4 breaths and hands on the heart center, you already have an experience of the chakras. So vibrational medicine is a term used to describe any medicine that in effect has some sort of impact on a person's energetic level. An energetic level may in turn be described as a level that affects the auras, chakras, and the meridians. Examples of vibrational medicinal therapies include homeopathy, therapeutic touch, color therapy, music therapy, taste therapy, and aromatherapy because it relates to our sense of smell. To lay the foundation, it's really important to understand the difference between a Western view and an Eastern lens, so that the prisms through which we look at life and the occurrences of why and how things happen and our ability to impact outcomes is very much influenced by societal conditioning, cultural conditioning. And so let's lay this out at the very beginning. So in the West, our viewpoint is so much one of the pursuit of attaining and accumulation, getting a better car and then an even better car, getting a promotion at work, and then right away looking for a bigger and better promotion, earning money, then looking for that promotion that comes with more money, and then upping our salaries, and then finding a small home, and then moving to a bigger home, and then a bigger home, and a bigger home, and not just one car, but two cars. So it's just constantly in the state of adding on, so much of the time, because we associate in the West attainment equals success. The more stuff you have, then the more you're winning. In the East, the viewpoint is actually simplification, the pursuit of letting go. And you may be familiar with the Kondo method, right? So it's the decluttering, the releasing of what's necessary, and letting go, whether it's mentally letting go, spiritually letting go, emotionally letting go of things that cause us pain, or even physically letting go of the clutter. Because all four quadrants of our life, mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual, are impacted by the chakras. So that pursuit of letting go and simplification applies to all of them. Another way that we can see a difference is in this concept of dualism in the Western view, right and wrong, this or that. And then in the Eastern view, it's cause and effect. We take an action and there is an effect that comes from that action that we've taken. And we don't deem it right away, right and wrong. We're not looking at that to initiate the action. We're seeing, wow, if I do this, there will be an outcome and an effect. So let me be experiential and let me try this and see what the effect is, right? In the West, it's either or thinking. One of the examples I like to give is the nutritional bars. And so many of the nutritional bars are either or. Either they're really good for you or they taste great, but they're not so good for you, right? So Kind Bar, as an example, came up with a bar and it says this on its label, both and. This is both good for you and tastes great. And they came into the market and absolutely killed it because they decided to apply this very Eastern view of both and, right? In the Western view, everything is rules and then answers to those rules and then sub rules. In the Eastern view, it's learning to ask better questions. So let me give you an example to make that real. In the Western view, we're very much about being told what to think and told these are the parameters of this rule and this is the one answer and just do this. And don't ask why. In the Eastern view, we're not trying to get to the answer. That's not the driver. We're learning how to ask better questions. Asking the question, then asking a better one, and asking a better one, and asking and refining the best question. And therefore, we make experiments that lead us to the ability to ask better questions. And we're not looking at one authority to give us all the answers, and there's just the one right answer. Instead, we have our own authority, right? In the Western view, mistakes always equal failures. Like this went wrong, so therefore it's a complete fail. But in the Eastern view, mistakes equal learning. In other words, there really are no mistakes. It's just we've taken an action, or this is the circumstance around us, and we've learned something from it. We've gained some knowledge from that. And so now think about, one leads us in being stuck in suffering. And that's the Western view. I've made these mistakes, this equals failure, and now I'm a failure, and I can't get out of that mindset loop, and I'm just going to suffer and beat myself up over and over and over for years because I failed due to the mistakes. Or in the Eastern view, life is not without pain. But pain is momentary, and through the pain sometimes of meeting a life's challenge, we learn something. And that is living. That is just that aspect of being alive and being human. So suffering, stuckness, the occasional pain, we're alive, we're attempting, we're learning. And so these two aspects really are a good introduction to laying the foundation from which we'll look at the chakras. So the chakras themselves are not physical, but you can see or experience or examine them in ways that are not in a physical way, like I'm going to hold up a pen. Like this I can see, right? And you can see it. But instead, it's something different. They are very real. Can I say that I can see them? Sometimes, yeah. I can examine them? Sometimes, yes. But not in that same way as a pen, yes? And they are very real. And like thoughts, like feelings, ideas, their existence has a powerful effect on us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And the best example I can give is that if a child came to you and asked, what is love? How do you explain? Is love real? Can you see love? Can you examine it? Is it like a pen? Well, not really. So it's the same with the chakras. But I'd have to say that I believe I can see love. I believe that I can feel love and examine love and experience love. So it feels very real. So the chakras manifest in our daily life, and they influence how we behave, the shape of our physical bodies, our states of consciousness, and the way we think, feel, and act in life. How many chakras are there? Well, there are 7 main chakras located along the spine, and then the 8th chakra is the aura. There's also 21 minor chakras located throughout the body. And then, of course, there are really an infinite number of chakras. For this experience, we're looking at the 7 chakras. The chakras themselves date back to the writings all the way to the Vedas, so thousands of years. And the word chakra literally means wheel or disc, often referred to as whirling wheels of light. And just to make sure, it's not chakra, which is cucumber, but chakra. So a little bit more of a strong tongue feel to the upper palate, to the top row of teeth, something like that. And the chakras themselves are spinning vortices of energy that receive, absorb, and transmit life force energy that we know as prana. This was a really big difference in my understanding of the chakras, in that I thought that I'm just receiving all this energy from the chakras, but never did I think that I'm actually emitting energetic vibrational frequencies. And then once that clicked into place, and I'm like, oh, whoa, I need to be responsible for the energy that I'm putting out there and transmitting into the world, right? And also equally to be conscious of like what I might be absorbing from external sources. Now, each chakra is unique. I mean, unique in its color, energy, specific spiritual, emotional, psychological, and physical issues and characteristics. And the whole chakra system creates what's called a rainbow bridge between matter and consciousness. Let's dive in. The chakras can become blocked through external situations and internal habits, such as long-held tension in the body or staying stuck in our thoughts about things past or constant worry about the future. And it can become either deficient or excessive. Therefore, the chakra is imbalanced. This is the terminology that is standard. When we talk about a chakra, it's too much or too little, deficient or excessive. And these imbalances may develop temporarily with situational challenges, or they may be chronic. A chronic imbalance can come from childhood experiences, past pain, or stress. So, for example, if you moved around a lot as a child, and in that time, in those formative years, your parental energy is also divorced. That's a lot of instability, the moving, now even the parental energies and trying to get a new routine and moving around between the two. So that could lead to a deficiency in your root chakra that you are still experiencing as deficient today at this age that you are, right? So another example, when I was pushed into oncoming traffic, a lady was texting in her Hummer and just slammed me into oncoming traffic because she didn't pay attention to me, just stopped at the stop sign, as you do, right? And I ricocheted over the steering wheel and closed my third chakra. Like the body just collapsed, right? And so that was a situation that created an imbalance. And what was I feeling? Also related to the third chakra, fear, right? Fear. So that then led to an issue with the third chakra. So now the chakras themselves, and I want to use this old school metaphor because it still really works, are floppy disks that contain vital programs. This is how you came in to the world, right? You have these vital programs. You have survival programs that tell you when to eat, how many hours to sleep, if you're cold, need to put on a sweater. You also have programs for power, love, sexuality, and communication. And the seventh chakra is the operating system. It represents how we organize and interpret all the other programs. So the seventh chakra is very, very important. Now, your body is the hardware. Our programming is the software. And you yourself are the user. Make sense so far? Right? Now, we did not write all of these programs. Like when you open up a computer, it already has some programs on there. You get a smartphone, there's already some programs on there. We didn't write them, they were just there. That's the same with the chakras. Some of these programs already there. Now, it's up to you, and here lies the challenge, to identify the programs and rewrite them while you're living life. Not all of the programs that you received are a good fit for you in this moment in time. And they may be different 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And this is the task of healing, which is why I will tell you over and over again that understanding the chakras and applying them to your life will change your life. So how do the chakras work? Well, it's an evolutionary program, and we use it to reprogram our lives. So we can learn this on an individual level, and then we can apply this same methodology that we make the changes to ourselves, to our culture, to our environment, to society. So Gandhi, one of the many things that he's famous for teaching is be the change you want to see in the world. Be the change here, individually, you want to see in the world, right? And this is a very common belief in spiritual practices. So if you can make changes in your programming, then you know how to make those changes and you can apply them on a bigger scale, micro to macro. So for example, if in your experience you came in with this program of self-limiting belief, of negative self-talk, not feeling like you're deserving of love. You can reprogram that, and now you can teach the world to live in less scarcity and to live with more love. And one more thing, even the most fancy, elaborate, expensive computer won't work without electricity. And so, in order to understand a human being, we always have to examine the flow of energy through the system. And that energy is excitement, enthusiasm, chi, prana, awareness, life force, even focus, attention. That's the energy, that's the electrical current when we're talking about this experience of the chakras. So, where are they? Here in this visual does a really nice job of aligning the three main vertical energy channels. So the chakras align with these three main energy channels. And you can see from the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and white in this beautiful illustration, these are the seven main chakras, and they're going up vertically the Shushumna, the center channel, the Shushumna. And then there's the right side and there's the left side. The left side is the receiving side, Ida, and the right side is the Pingala, the action, the doing side. The left side is feminine energy, the right side is masculine energy. And then the middle one is that balance center, and it runs from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. So these are the three main energetic currents. You can think of them as like three rivers paralleling one another and intersecting through right, left to the center, right, left, right, left. Now, here's some cool, interesting facts that made a big difference for me in my learning and application. The three lower chakras, those closest to the earth, are associated with the more physical and social aspects of our lives: survival, sexuality, and power. Now, that's not unlike Maslow's theories, right? Just the biggest part of the pyramid at the bottom. Like there's basic survival. And then the upper three chakras represent the mental realms: communication, intuition, and cognition. So already we have these two main understandings: the lower chakras, the physical self; the higher chakras, our mental selves. And then the middle one, the fourth chakra, known as Anahata, and that's where we started with our hands on our heart, right here, is where our physical, the lower ones, and our mental meet. They meet right here and merge, right? And so the center represents balance. It represents that place where the upper and the lower come together and unite. And this is also where our soul and our spirit unite, and where the true self resides. So this is a really important learning, which is why we open the presentation with our hands there so that you could feel its energy. Now, other cool stuff to know: the first two chakras, 1 and 2, are chakras of manifestation. So think about in your life right now if that's something that's interesting to you. Is that where your attention and focus lies? Are you most interested in manifestation right now? The second two chakras, 3 and 4, are the chakras of relationship. Okay? Now, is that what's most important? So are you trying to manifest a new business, a career change, or are you most focused on relationship and family right now? One is not wrong or right, just asking yourself. And then the upper three are chakras of communication. So what is pulling most of your energy right now? Where are you most interested? And there's no wrong answer. It's just whatever is coming up for you now: manifestation, relationship, or communication. And the reason that I'm just pointing that out is whatever is already most interesting, learn about those chakras first. Instead of overwhelming yourself and trying to memorize everything, go always where you need the most healing or you have the most interest. Okay? Now, the even numbered chakras are all concerned with the feminine energy. The odd chakras, 1, 3, 5, 7, are concerned with the masculine energy. So now again, we have, just to connect to previous points, the right side of us is the masculine, the left side of us is the feminine energy. And we all have both, right? And the even chakras, 2, 4, 6, are the feminine energy, and the energy is moving inwards, in towards you. And this is a very cooling energy. So anytime it's the feminine energy, think of the energy of the moon, so cooling things down. Now, the masculine energy, the 1, 3, 5, and 7, is moving energy out. And this is the heating energy. Think of the masculine energy always associated with the sun, feminine with the moon, cooling, and then masculine with the sun, heating and warming. So that you already have an understanding. And that, where are you in your life? Are you moving energy out, trying to do that? Or are you trying to draw energy in? You know, in this day, in this moment, or in life in general right now, where is your work lie? And even just that, to connect the dots, that can be really interesting to see. Are you deficient on masculine energy? Are your weakest chakras the masculine? Or are the weakest chakras the feminine energy? Have you been having a really difficult time at receiving and feeling supported, right? So many people are struggling right now, and with work, with home, with finances, with life, with peace of heart and mind. And yet it's so difficult for a lot of us to ask to receive support. So that's really interesting, and how that can manifest in the chakras. Now, we've been talking about, and the illustration showed you these are vertical because our human bodies are taller than they are wide. So that's why these major energy pathways run vertically. And now the subtler currents run in other directions. But the main ones, because that's how we're built, go up and down, down and up. There are two poles that exist. The earth-centered pole, contact through our bodies, this physical experience, and then the pole of consciousness, which is related through our minds. So we need both. We don't want to just be in this physical body and not letting the mind grow and evolve into realms of higher consciousness, right? But we also don't want to just be over intellectualizing things in our minds and get stuck in our heads and feel disembodied, right? Not in our bodies. And between these poles runs the dynamic life force of energy that we know as prana. The earth-centered pole, when energetic contact is made through the body, it is called grounding. It is rooted in sensation, feeling of the material world that makes us feel safe, alive, and rooted. So what are things that you can do to feel more grounded? You could practice yoga. You could literally feel your body in yoga right away. You can exercise. Just moving your body is going to put you in your body. It doesn't matter if it's running or if it's playing tennis or if it's swimming. You're going to feel yourself get more grounded by physically moving your body. Getting a massage is another example of feeling grounded and in your body. There's all sorts of things that we can do, like taking a bath or a shower, noticing when you're not feeling grounded, if you can use extra blankets or be conscious of what you're wearing close to your skin. And you could even just give yourself a hand massage, right? Or put your hands on your face just to feel yourself. And that's the grounding energy. Now, the pole of consciousness comes through our mind. It is our inner understanding, our memory, our dreams, our beliefs. And when it is connected to our body, the spiritual realm becomes embodied. making it tangible and effective. So when you take spirit and ground it out in the body, then now we're embodied. If we plugged into the system just like we plug into a radio, then the chakras become like channels, receiving and broadcasting at different frequencies. Hold this to heart. Soul and spirit are expressions of these polarities. Soul tends towards the body, leaning towards form, attachment, feeling. And spirit tends to move towards freedom and expanded consciousness. Soul is the individual expression of spirit, and spirit is the universal expression of soul. And they connect and are enhanced by the other. The 7 vortices of the chakras are created by the combination of these two active principles, consciousness and matter. Consciousness enters through the crown chakra, downward through the body, and this is the current of manifestation. So if this is where you're at in your life right now, or perhaps you've had all these ideas, you want to start a new business, start a new relationship, move someplace new, you have ideas of change in your life, but nothing ever happens. And you want to, but you just talk about it. You just stay in your head, but you don't ground that downwards. That is why it's not manifesting. That's why it's not coming into this reality. It's just staying up here and not in the manifestation energy. It's the downward polarity first. An easy way to remember this is that if I want to grow tomatoes, I need to plant the seeds in the ground. I need to put them in the earth. And then from the down energy, the roots, even in aquaponics, the roots are going to move down. So then the tomato can grow up. So when we take our thoughts and turn them into visualizations, and then turn those into words, and then turn those into actions, form, we're engaged in the process of manifesting. You can't just stay in visualization and expect things to change in your life, right? You can't expect your visualization to then be written down, but do nothing and expect it to manifest. You have to do something. And only through embodiment can consciousness manifest. Only through embodiment can consciousness manifest. Now, the upward current moving from earth to consciousness is the current of liberation. So as we move upward, we become less restricted, less defined in that earth, water like form, and thoughts are less specific than words or pictures. So as we go up, we find the ultimate liberation. And that's why historically chakras are thought of as a path to liberation, a path where one is freed from the restrictions of the material world. And so now a human needs a balance between both of these currents in order to be whole. We cannot liberate, we cannot change and grow or expand if we're not feeling that energy of liberation, right? And without the current of manifestation, we become aimless and empty. So if we cannot liberate, we cannot change and grow or expand. And without the current of manifestation, nothing ever happens. We just are aimless, nothing occurs, nothing changes, in other words. So we need both. And when we combine both currents, we have the mating of cosmic polarities, known as hieros gamos, or sacred marriage. This is where you marry yourself, because inside you exists the masculine and the feminine energy. And the first most important relationship is the one that you're having with yourself. So instead of that concept of you complete me, I need somebody else to complete me because I'm incomplete, I'm missing something. No, these are teachings that explain that you are complete, but Once you find this energetic movement and the up and down polarities, and you decide to really understand the alignment and the integration of right and left and masculine and feminine, then all of a sudden, heros gamos, you give birth to yourself. This is where then I love to do ceremonies of just marrying yourself, right? This is the first sacred marriage between Shiva and Shakti, masculine and feminine. And I encourage you to do that, to go out somewhere, do something beautiful for yourself. For this is the metaphoric source of conception, a word that implies both the birth of an idea and the beginning of life. For in actuality, you have two births, the physical birth and a spiritual birth. What Heros Gamos is implying, in order to achieve the healing of the chakras, is that you give birth to yourself, right? You have that physical birth of entry in this body in this lifetime, but the second birth you have to do, and that's then the beginning. So this union of describing consciousness is this union of opposites creates limitless possibilities. So the masculine, the feminine, the up and the down energies, when you find that beautiful uniting and integration, anything is possible. But what holds us back is traumas, social programming, things that cut us off from feeling grounded, and things that cut us off from imagining a better life for ourselves. And modern culture prides itself in mind over matter philosophy. So we lose our individuality. Misinformation, indoctrination invalidate our consciousness. And this is where our instincts become disconnected from our body. The integration of mind, body, and energy is what makes healing possible. It is not enough to understand without action or to merely move energy without understanding. It is the integration of these two currents that creates the changes we seek in our lives and ultimate healing. Take a big breath in, open mouth, exhale. You may or may not intellectually understand what's here on screen. Allow it to be felt and allow it to steep. Like we were making tea and the tea bag has to stay in the hot water. Yeah. Matter produces and is known by consciousness. Consciousness produces and is known by awareness. Consciousness can be seen by awareness, but it is difficult for consciousness to be aware of itself seeing. When consciousness is still, it can become aware of itself. Consciousness is fulfilled when it warmly intermingles with matter and awareness. It delights in being seen. The beautiful words of Matthew Rumsky in the book Threads of Yoga does the best job of explaining this relationship between matter and consciousness. So let's take a look at a summary. Overall, big picture, think of like zooming out, right? Stepping back, aerial perspective. You're in a helicopter, you can see all 7 chakras. That's important to do before we dive in. Go macro, then go back to micro. Go in and out a little bit. So these are in order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Root chakra is the first. And an easy way to understand this is based in the elements. I know that your intuition understands the elements because that's our shared humanity. So we know the earth energy. We know that the ground is underneath us. So if we're going to build a house, we always build it from the foundation, from the ground, and then build up, right? So it's the same way. We start with the root chakra. Where do we place our roots? We place them into the earth so that then we can grow, right? So earth energy first chakra. Then There's the water energy. The basin of the earth creates a holding, a form for our rivers, our lakes, and our oceans, right? So that the water can be contained. So earth, and then on top, water. And these two energies move down, like rain falling, right? Now, fire energy moves up. Air energy moves up like a hot air balloon, rising. Now we're looking at fire, the third chakra, air, the fourth chakra, that place that we started with. And then the fifth, sixth, and seventh chakras. And each of these has a color associated with them, in addition to an elemental. And I've put the names in both Sanskrit and in English. There's magic and potency in the Sanskrit, right? That is vibrational medicine. But also for many of you, English is your first language, so knowing both, being bilingual. So Muladhara, the root chakra, Svadhisthana, the sacral chakra, Manipura, the solar plexus, Anahata, where we started, the heart chakra. So as you go through, practice saying the Sanskrit and feeling the energy of it, as well as the English. Now, in the next column, after color, you can see that there's something related to the self, because this is all about your programming. It's not about my programming that you're trying to figure out. This is about you figuring out your own programming, because we each have it. And so there is self-work associated with each one. The root chakra, self-preservation, self-gratification, self-definition, self-love, self-expression, self-reflection, and self-knowledge. So you could look at this and just say, where is my weakness right now? What's my biggest development need? Am I having an identity crisis? Do I not know who I am? Yeah. Then maybe it's self-definition. And then let's focus there and dive into that third chakra, right? Or are you struggling with loving yourself? Is that what's really causing the most suffering in your life? Well, then let's dive into that. And then each of these, as you go to the next column, has a right, a divine right. The right to be here, the right to feel anything, the right to take action, the right to love and be loved, the right to speak and hear, the right to see and see with intuition, and the right to know, a knowing of awareness, So here in this column, what is the difficulty for you that you're facing? Are you feeling kind of invisible? Like you're just in your head and you can't even feel your body? Then let's focus on the right to be here. You know, from an abusive situation that I was in when I was married, I literally disappeared myself because I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to get in trouble and receive the wrath of my ex. So I did all these things to try not to be seen. And I had to take that back. And part of my healing was like, I have a right to be here. Yeah. And the intention is different for each one. So have you used any of these words in setting your intentions? Then let's focus on that is naturally coming up for you. Is your intention manifestation of the root chakra? Is it individuation and expressing like, this is who I am? The second chakra, are you trying to set yourself free? Emancipation, the third chakra. Adoration, the fourth chakra. Are you working on getting better at communicating? The fifth chakra. Have you struggled with believing and trusting your intuition? The sixth chakra. And ultimate liberation, the seventh chakra. So where is it that's your key intention, or one or two places? Now you could say like all of them. I understand that, but try to focus on one or two, right? And let's heal those. Then each of these has a mantra. And I love to say these, and we will here, as a form of healing. Just repeating these mantras cleanses the chakras and brings balance. So sit tall, take a big breath in, deep breath out, and we'll start from the earth energy, from where you're sitting on a chair, the couch, a desk. Feel your seat. Repeat after me. I am here. I am me. I am free. I am love. I am truth. I am understanding. I am aware. I am here. I am me. I am free. I am love. I am truth. I am understanding. I am aware. I am here. I am me. I am free. I am love. I am truth. I am understanding. I am aware. Just notice what you're feeling. And now you could reverse the order and start from the top down, especially if what you need right now is that energy current to move down. Then you could repeat them. I am aware, the crown. I am understanding. I am truth. I am love. I am free. I am me. I am here. I am aware. I am understanding. I am truth. I am love. I am free. I am me. I am aware. And so repeating them in a downward current has a different energy. So this is what we have as an introduction to this beautiful experience of the chakra system. I am so excited for you to dive in now into each individual chakra and start with the ones that you already know based on this experience of learning that you're feeling called to dive into. Whether you're calling it healing or transformation or empowerment. But dive in there and let's dive deep. You have all the resources in this course to really excavate and do the work of studying yourself to better know yourself in order to heal, empower, and transform yourself. It's been a pleasure and an honor. I'm so grateful that you're here in this course. And let's close this sacred space. Take a big breath in, hands over the heart like we started. Exhale. From my heart to your heart to the heart of the universe. May you love yourself, love your day, and love your life.